way out of town on a trip. So if I don't get to come here very often. And we're going into Webb's Antique Mall. This is a stop along the way on a business trip I'm on. And I have a little bit of time to kill by leaving early, so we're going to look and see if we can find any vintage vinyl records up in here. So you guys just hang tight and let's see what we can find. All right, hey y'all, this is Nate, and here's my haul from this trip. I took a business trip down to Orlando, so along the way, we left a little early, so along the way, we stopped at a few antique stores around, Lakeland and all the way down, and then all the way down into Orlando. And here's what I was able to pick up along the way. I found this Maynard Ferguson Conquistador. And I got this one because I seen it had Gonna Fly Now, the theme from Rocky, and it had the theme from Star Trek. Also had Soar Like an Eagle, which is a Bob James tune with Bob James and the piano solo. So I recognized a lot of different musicians in some of these songs on here and thought it was a interesting find. I believe these were like $1 in that store. Vinyl looked great too, of course. And let's see what else we got. I found a Dolly Parton 9 to 5. I had the single, but I didn't have the full album. So when I saw it there for that price, you got to pick it up. Had the original inner sleeve too. Even though in the greatest shape in the world, it still has more graphics on it and information. It's a lyric sheet on the side too. So the inner sleeve is a lyric sheet, and the vinyl was in good condition too. I know a lot of y'all probably remember the movie too. Yeah, if you remember the movie, give a shout out at the bottom. And I found Johnny Cash too. This is Orange Blossom Special. And what I liked about it is I seen Orange Blossom Special, and I seen Long Black Veil, Don't Think Twice, It's Alright. I couldn't remember hearing him do that. I'm sure I probably have, but I bought it because of that, you know, that old Bob Dylan tune. And it's got Wildwood Flower and Danny Boy medley at the end. And wasn't in the best condition, but still $1. The sleeve wasn't. The record actually looked fine. It had a few little scuffs, but nothing that causes any issues. And then when I got to that antique mall, the big one, I found a bunch in there. One of them I got on film. One area was so tight and compact, and I only had my phone with me, so it was difficult to record there. I hate I didn't get any footage in that area, but I got a lot of footage in one high price booth area and a couple random booths in there. And you've seen this one, the Go Little Honda by the Hondells, was about $5 in that one booth, which I thought was a decent price for that, being it had been took care of. It's still in like factory shrink with a 77-cent clearance price on it, so that was pretty cool. And the vinyl looked perfect. And then the other booth, these were about, I think, $3 a piece, maybe $3.50. And I found about 4 or 5 in that booth, so I can show them to you. They were in great condition too. And you guys, after watching this channel, the ones who have a couple years, know I'm a huge Alda Miola fan. This is one of his double albums. This one did a Hotel. This one was in immaculate condition. This is a later one, as you can tell from the 80s. It has a barcode. It's also a bifold. I don't know if I can get everything in there and see what I'm doing, but we'll give it a try. And just like the others, these records were immaculate. They look brand new, the ones. So this booth had the best deals. It didn't have the real popular rock and folk rock and stuff like that the real high dollar booth did, where they were $20 and $30 a piece. But these were decent albums, I thought, for the price, and I was only able to have to, or I only had to spend just $2 or $3. So then this Bob James. This is from the Taxi movie, and this is a promo. You got the little sticker here over the barcode. And this one I hadn't took out yet. I usually turn them back for protection and put the plastic around them when I get around to it, but when I hadn't listened to them yet, I go ahead and stick them in like that, like we did back in the old day. Easy access. But you kind of want to turn it back that way, and then the plastic to kind of protect it, keep as much dust out as possible. But because these, like I said, look almost brand new. And I found this was a good find for me. You guys know a while back, I think it was one of the videos before I took that break, I looked for the Pure Prairie League album. You know, it had Vince Gill, and well, there was 3 albums that Pure Prairie League did with Vince Gill. So I was able to find this one too. This is Firing Up, Pure Prairie League. And this is one of the other ones with Vince Gill. So I have this one, which is the second one, and the third one that I've already showed you probably a year or 2 ago. And then I don't have the very first one Vince Gill did with him yet. The album cover looks totally different. It doesn't look like a lot like a Pure Prairie League album, but it's out there. And and here's the band members. You can see that there's Vince sporting that mustache and the shoulder length hair. Got the 70s look going on, you know. So he's lead vocals and guitar on a lot of these songs. So it's kind of cool. If you like Vince Gill and you kind of like that country air and kind of stuff, or especially his musicianship, check out those 2 or 3 Pure Prairie League albums. This is one of them, like I said, firing up. And there's 2 more. This one I looked for a while. Not that it's that special. I always thought I'd probably get a pretty good deal on it. But I had it on my want list because I'm a huge Grover Washington Jr. fan. And, mostly, like I said before, I like the bebop and free jazz era. But when it goes to moving to the smooth jazz era, I don't mind the occasional, Kenny G and Grover Washington Jr. and Chuck Mangione and people like that. But Grover is probably one of my favorites in the smooth jazz genre for what little I listen to it. So I have most of his albums, but I didn't have this Live at the Bayou 2 record set. And especially improv musicians, I love these live albums. When you get to people like Jimi Hendrix live, that's why they can release the same songs of his 10 times, and musicians will grab them up if it's live, because you're going to get to see a different rendition of that song, because they're improvising. So the solo is going to be at least a little bit different every time when it's live. On a lot of these improvised musicians, like on the rock side, like Jimi Hendrix and a lot of them Clapton, and then especially on the jazz side, because they're improvising in the studio too. So when they get live, it's just even more. It just depends on the feel and the mood of the night. It gives you a whole different sound. And this one I thought was a great one. He is Live at Bayou, and this is a double album. So we got a gatefold here, and this one looks brand new as well. The only hiccup was the inside. You can see the double ring. It was actually kind of stuck in the store, and I almost put it back, but I did the crazy thing to actually go and try to tear it apart, and it actually didn't damage it. It left behind that ring you're seeing, but it didn't take out any graphics or anything. So because the rest of it was so amazing, I said that's not going to be enough to deter me. This one, like I said, I need to listen to too. Hadn't turned those around yet. But the records look brand new. I'll pull one out to kind of show you. And you can tell it had been taken care of greatly, because it has this original inner sleeve, and it doesn't even have any, a lot of times these seams are bust from the record bouncing up and down and just storing and being moved around a lot. These doesn't even have any seam bust in the paper, much less the sleeve itself. They don't even have it on this inner sleeve, so this was probably hardly ever played or moved. So that was a great find for me, at least. And last but not least, I found a little more jazz. I found some John McLaughlin. This is his acoustic guitar, The Goes Beyond. So this was kind of neat. Most of the time, you see him on his electric guitars, just playing super fast. And this is some of the same stuff, but on acoustic. So I found it interesting. And it had the original inner sleeve too, with whatever this stamping is. Maybe somebody in the comments can tell me. It may be one of those return type things, like I've heard people say that about like the punch holes. I'm assuming maybe this is something similar, because it's definitely done with the machine. It's got a little divot out right here, and it's flat, as you can see. So probably something to do with that, not sure. If you know, comment and let me know below. I'm not sure, I haven't looked it up yet. But I guess I'll share the record too, being we're close to the end, because it's in great condition too. Hardly ever played. I did play this one, I believe. Yeah, I remember listening to it because I wanted to hear the difference in his acoustic stylings. And that's all I found on that trip. Like I said, it was a great opportunity to get footage in new places, because you do see a lot of stores. I try to get a new store in there every now and then, take a few little road trips when we get time. But a lot of times I recycle those same stores and do something different in them, look in a different area, or move to 45s instead of albums. And so I've been to some stores 4 or 5 times, but tried to give you unique footage. But when I get a chance to have to go out of town, I like to stop by, some new places and just see what stuff is there. You always find slightly different stuff there than you do in your own area. And supposed to be another business trip if plans don't change, probably later in the year, around October, or I think October, out in Dallas. And we're thinking about driving to it instead of flying, just to maybe leave a day early and hit a few towns along the way, you know, around the edge of Mississippi and maybe a couple in Louisiana if we got time, and the edge of Texas itself, and just see what we can find. But so that'll be months later, and hopefully, you know, there'll be totally different footage in different areas. But until then, thank you guys for watching. You know, comment and like and subscribe and all that good stuff that comes along with YouTube. And I appreciate, you know, everybody that watches and comments. And I like watching all your guys' channels too, and to see what people find and see what people like. It's kind of a neat thing here, this vinyl community that kind of got started with the revival of vinyl here, and it's kind of cool to see it, you know, carry on. But anyway, I digress. We'll catch you guys next time. Keep grooving.